What is the worst advice you have ever received in your life?
Oh, that's a good one.
The worst advice I have received
Yeah.
in my whole life?
Yeah.
Be friends with everyone.
Welcome back, Weeboos, to the What Is Up Indonesia podcast with your host, Andovi da Lopez.
And me, Abigail Limuria.
And of course, our guest today is no less than legendary. He's a founder.
Right.
He's a stand-up comedian legend.
Yes.
Now a movie-making trailblazer.
Don't forget an author too.
An author as well. And he might be the only publicly acclaimed Spurs fan in Indonesia. Give it up for Ernest Prakasa! Okay, enjoy.
How do you like
I
the
didn't
intro?
expect the last one coming, but okay. All good.
That was one of the most asked questions.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to talk about that later,
Sure.
about the Spurs and everything. But Ernest, how are you? How are things?
I'm good, I'm great, thank you. Had a great espresso shot, so I'm ready to go.
Whoa, let's go.
Espresso. How was that espresso shot?
It was great. It was very,
Proper?
it was very bold. It's very flavorful. I like it. Yeah.
Oh, jangan lupakan Mad for Coffee dan Mardika Coffee. Yeah, itu dia. Yeah.
That's true.
So Ernest, there's a lot of things that we want to talk about, of course.
Yeah.
But one of the things that really gets to me personally is you are one of the... You're one of the founders, along with four others.
Sorry, stand-up comedy Indonesia, the community.
The community,
not
sorry.
the art. Of course.
The art has been there way before.
Yeah.
You, Radit, Panji, Rian, Isman Ayes.
Yes.
And now you, along with Imaginary, have been, the third most popular movie in Indonesia is your movie.
Yeah.
Second.
Sorry, my bad. My bad.
No, third. I forgot about Jumbo. Sorry.
Jumbo, yeah.
Rian, I was second
Because you had the beat, I remember, in your comedy.
So he was second and now he's third.
Yes.
I'm so used to being second, and now I have to accept the fact that I'm no longer second. And it takes a while, I'm third now.
Because one of his stand-up beats, which I watched in the stand-up. He was like, because if you guys don't know, because you guys are too young, he's the Juara 3 season 1 stand-up comedy Indonesia.
Yeah.
And one of his beats is dia nyaman di bawah the shadow Adem ya. Di bawah Bang Rian Adriandi.
Yeah.
That's one of his beats.
Yeah, because he was first in the competition too, and now Jumbo is first and mine is third again. So it's like I'm living under his shadow for quite a while now.
Right.
But that's
poetic irony.
But that's not living under anyone's shadow. That's an amazing accomplishment.
It's a joke, man.
Yeah.
That is it's a joke, guys. It's a joke.
The movie is Agak Laen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's coming out Agak Laen 2. Kapan? 27th of November.
The 7th of November. It's entitled Agak Laen Menyala Pantiku.
Menyala Pantiku.
Because we don't do. It's actually not a sequel.
So not
it's
a sequel.
like every story is a fresh slate of story with the same characters. So it's pretty much like the Warkop days, when they release a new movie. They could be anything. They could be like anak kos. They could be police officers. They could be like anything. So that's what we're going to do with the franchise.
Yeah. Dude, the first movie got how much? 9.4 million?
9.2 million.
9.2 million.
Yeah.
I mean, before Jumbo came up, it was just you and KKN, right?
Yeah.
And KKN had reruns. Anyway,
they did.
They did.
That's for a fact.
That's a fact. They had reruns. But first of all, before we go to your career, your stand-up career, your movie career, your writing career, did you expect Agak Laen, the first Agak Laen, to be this massive? I mean, it was hilarious, but
I watched it. It was really hilarious.
Especially the TNI phone call scene is genius. But what are your thoughts about that?
I think nobody saw it coming. No, literally nobody saw it coming because it's unprecedented. It's the success. The previous success was Warkop DKI Reborn was 6 million, and it's Warkop. It's like the number one comedy name in our all-time history, perhaps. Warkop, right? So they got 6 million. So we thought we were like maybe 2 million-ish or 3 million would be a great achievement for us. Why those numbers? Because we had previous history with those range of numbers. Because my Toko Sebelah was 2 point something. Imaginary's first movie Ngering Resdap was 2.8. So I think 2 to 3 million is quite a logical expectation at the time. So we did not expect 9 million, of
Why?
course.
Why do you think it was that successful? I'm very curious,
You know,
actually.
when everything falls into place, like it's really hard to like, just all the stars just aligned, like first of all, the momentum was we released like on the height of the political tension during the pill press. So people like they need like release, they want some
Right.
they want to laugh because it's being too stressful and too tense. And then it was released during a time when the cinema goers are really on the rise. The industry as a whole was on the rise as well, because lately we have this like underlying feeling of is the economy okay and all
Yeah.
that stuff, right? It wasn't like this like 2 years, a year back, a year and a half back. So everything was going great, and maybe that's the first time that's there's a comedy being written, played, directed, even produced by comedians. So it's
I
like
see.
we don't know how to make like a good movie per se, like a cinematic masterpiece. But we do know how to make funny movies,
No,
and
and
that's
it
what.
was very
Let's
funny.
just we set out to let's make the funniest movie ever made, and that's what our goal was at the time. It was that simple, actually.
Okay. Yeah, and I think for you, right, even though you have like a very colorful career, I would say,
Yeah.
from stand-up comedian and then writer and then go into film, and now you're an entrepreneur. And all of that, I think you always carry comedy with you. Why is that? Like, has comedy has always been like an important part of you, or did it falls into place?
Because it changed my life, because I used to have a really hard time coping with the fact that my early school days from elementary to junior high was a very dark times when in Orde Baru era where discrimination and racism was, I think it's of course it's always here and there, but it's not like institutionalized. We weren't able to celebrate Imlek at the time.
Yeah.
It was like banned, so it's an institutionalized racism, I would say, at that time. So it was bad for me growing up. I always hated being a Chinese. I always feel like, why do I have to be a Chinese? Why am I born like this and get all these bad things that my friends do not get? So there's a lot of anger, a lot of hatred, a lot of wounds, perhaps.
Yeah.
And when I started doing comedy, and we're taught to like use all the things, all the experience, our keyword was keresahan, right? This stand-up comedy, right? So every keresahan you have, use it as a fuel to write material. So that's what I did. And when I did that, and people were laughing along with it, and it suddenly became like some sort of a healing journey, like a therapy. When I tell jokes about dikata-katain Cina dan segala macam, and I unknowingly it became like it healed me. So up to the point where there was a point where before stand-up comedy, I used to really hate being called Koh Ernest. Like I would not, every time like a simple syllable like Koh, it reminds me, oh yeah, I'm Chinese and I'm different and I have to get all these, I prefer not to be called Koh. I prefer to be called anything else, like Mas, Bang, whatever gitu.
Yeah.
At the time.
Right.
But since stand-up comedy, like everyone knows calls me Koh Ernest and I have no problem with it. But it helped me cope with that. Like, it is who I am, it's what happened, and it's now something that I can laugh along with. That's why comedy, I think comedy it's really a coping mechanism, not only for me, but for other comedians as well. Like if you know Dani Aditya with the wheelchair, and that's a more extreme case, of course. But a lot of people make peace with their past through comedy. And I think it's not only here in Indonesia, but if you watch stand-up comedians from the US, maybe the more painful they get, the darker their past, the funnier they became.
That's true. No,
Chappelle, CK, and all that.
That's true. I mean, but like the identity as a Chinese-Indonesian, I think that is really true. Like in my family also, like for example, my parents, right? They would tell me stories that they would just brush off nowadays. But then like it always, I need to take a pause because like, whoa, that's actually really dark. Like for example, my mom, she said like, she told me like this one story. Like she was like, yeah, I was like really nakal and like a gangster back then, in a sense. Like she would stand on top of like near the roof of her house, just like that, right? And she would like let the sun tan her skin because she wants to look more like her friends, because she wants to get darker skin. Right. And she would like tell that story as if that's like a joke, like as if that's funny. She was like, mami inget masa mami berdiri di atas genteng kayak gitu-gitu.
Yeah.
And soalnya mami gini. I was like, whoa, like I did not know that about you. But now like she loves her skin and she loves like her identity. She has no problem with that. But I think comedy is used by a lot of people to cope, not just like in this specific sense, right? But in a lot of people. And I'm really interested in what you said. Has that always been your intention to use comedy as a coping mechanism, or did you just like naturally gravitate towards that, and then through the journey and then reflecting back, you realize, oh, I'm actually healing in this process, and I'm actually coping with comedy?
Yeah, I think it's the latter. I didn't realize that it's gonna help me cope during my stand-up days. I'm just trying to do what I'm told. Like you make materials out of things that really, close to you, really evoke emotions and all that. So along the journey, it turned out to be something more than that. So in the context of movies, I think it's a more lighter context in terms of besides helping you to cope, comedy also make people let their guard down. For instance, like if you watch a Panji show, right?
Yeah.
He talks about all this heavy shit, like legalized prostitution, all the presidential stuff, all the things he talk about. It's really heavy stuff, human rights and everything, right? It's really heavy stuff. But when you go to a comedy show, you are expecting like to be entertained, and the comedy factor of it lets your guard down. So you're not you became less tense. And the same goes for movies. So for instance, like my groundbreaking movie in 2016, Toko Sebelah, right? It was a comedy basically. But if once you go in and then you experience the story, you'll get a lot of things out of it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, can I tell you, I think, I know you're coping for your personal issue. Through that movie, but I think through your movie, it helps a lot of Chinese-Indonesians come to terms with their identity as well. Like, I remember visibly, like, when Toko Sebelah came out, and before that was Ngenes, right?
Yeah, Ngenes was a year back. That was my first movie, 2015.
Yeah, that was your first movie, and then Toko Sebelah. I think I watched it with my family and like my now husband. And he said, like, this is the first time in Indonesian cinematic history where the story of like Chinese-Indonesian, the Toko and the issue with like family, the parents, they make a living through jualan di toko kelontongan, and then because of that, their children get to have a better education. But then because of that better education, the children doesn't want to inherit the mom and pop shops, and it's that whole struggle. It was never being brought up in like mainstream media, basically, and that was the first time, and it meant so much to a lot of my friends, actually.
So the funny thing is, if we bring that back to the comedy context. Ngenes is a movie it's based on my life, actually. It's a movie about, for those who haven't watched, it's a movie about a guy who experienced bullying and racism throughout school, and then he doesn't want to marry Chinese. He want to marry
non-Chinese,
and Indonesian, per se, Melayu, so that his children will not have to experience what he experienced. So that's like the whole thing of Ngenes. And then Toko Sebelah is, like you said, this second born who's prepped to be the one who bears the torch and everything. Now imagine those two movies without the comedy.
It was so depressing.
Right? It would be so depressing, right? It's like very heavy family drama. And then how many people would come and watch?
That's true.
comedy is like just a means for. I think it's like a how you package, you deliver something, but you package in a really nice wrap. You know, I think for most of my movies, that's what comedy does. But maybe for Agak Laen, it's a very different kind of project where you know from the start your objective is not to deliver a message. Your objective is just to make the funniest movie possible.
You know, in my honest opinion, Ernest, in my personal opinion, I still think Toko Sebelah is your masterpiece. I think, in my opinion.
I think it's hard to deny that because it did so many things. It put my name on the map.
Yeah.
It resonates to so many Chinese-Indonesian.
I bet you got a lot of messages, right?
I got a lot of I got teary-eyed. You know, like it's amazing stories people will tell. Like, for instance, like this guy, he messaged me like I watched Toko Sebelah and then I brought my dad, which is around my dad's age pretty much, to watch it with me. And then on the way back, the dad said on the car, to the son, "Look, I'm sorry, son, if I'm being too hard on you."
Wow.
You know, for context, Chinese-Indonesian born in the 50s and 60s, they don't say those kind of things.
No, they had it
dad
rough.
would
No, they would never.
My dad would never say that kind of thing. Right. A movie can do that, apparently. That's what like locked me in to filmmaking. Like, that moment of realization that a movie is not just, it's just not a work of art that you make to entertain people and then to make money of, but it's something, it could be life-changing. Life-changing. And then another one which is very memorable to me, like, so this guy, it's a woman actually, so she watched it and then she told me that her father has like a ruko, right?
Yeah.
And then since the mom has passed away, she and her siblings wanted the dad to sell the ruko, and then you can live somewhere like in a smaller place, so you don't have to take care of this big ruko.
Yep.
And then after watching the movie, she just realized that his whole life was there.
It was
he
that
doesn't
scene.
want to park. He didn't want to depart, like.
It was that scene that really broke me. Like when the dad was saying goodbye to. Oh my God! Like.
Yeah.
You do not understand like that.
I don't understand. I'm not Chinese-Indonesian, so I don't understand. But
that scene really, I bet broke a lot of people.
You know what's even sadder? Eventually, it happened in real life because during the pandemic, a lot of Toko Kelontong, because my mom runs a real Toko Kelontong from 1985, and it closed down in 2021 because. When the pandemic hit, everybody shifts to online, right?
Yep.
Even people buy beras, minyak, goreng, everything is online. So my mom's shop and all shops alike, a lot of them like go out of business. So there's a point when it's now a meeting, a versatile mini office for Imaginary right now, the building. So we cleared it out. Yeah. And then one day I was with her on that empty hall, and then she was just walking around and then looking like it was really eerily similar. The difference was she's not like sat down and crying.
Right.
She's just walking around and like she didn't say a thing, which really, I really don't know what to say. That's because Chinese parents, her age and my parents, they don't really talk about their feelings to their children, right? Yeah. So my mom was just strolling around, walking, like looking at the shop, which is now empty with nothing, and then that was before it was being renovated for the office it is now. See. Yeah. So it was
which was her really entire life. Like for context, right? Andovi usually, maybe not all, but from what I know, usually like Chinese-Indonesians who run these shops, like they would do it like Monday to Saturday and would only take a break Sunday.
Yes.
And it's from sunrise to sundown.
Yes.
And so it's literally their entire life there. And they don't take breaks except for Lebaran usually.
Exactly.
And that's what like really helped them go through like Orde Baru and all that hardship. It's what gave their family a better chance of life. So like when their children understandably so maybe doesn't want to inherit that, it's really painful.
Right.
But we cannot really blame the next generation as well.
Yeah.
Because things change, and it's just a whole issue that is really brilliantly brought up.
But I did
Sebelah
do my
anyway.
research. I mean, because in my case, my family never forced me into doing what my parents did. I mean, they never wanted me to proceed with the shop. They want me
I see.
to go do whatever I want. So actually, I don't relate with Erwin. So what I did was I was looking around, asking my friends and family who were
I
in the
see.
situation, and I got a phone call to some of them, and then the stories were quite unique. There's this one guy who came back from abroad.
Okay.
Studying abroad, and then he came back, and then the dad want him to, take care of this, like some toko bangunan stuff, And I said, no, I'm not gonna do it. I want to do my own thing. And then his thing didn't succeed, and he ended up doing it anyway. All kind of stories I researched, and then I put into the script.
Ernest, look, I don't know where this question is going, but I want to share with you my thoughts.
Yeah.
When you look at Western movies in Hollywood, being a minority has always been a punchline.
Yeah.
Harold and Kumar, Indian, Chinese, punchline.
Yeah.
But the way you and Imaginary do things, from Cek Toko Sebelah, from Ngeri Ngeri Sedap, with the whole Batak and Medan culture, and then with Kakabos also, with Ari, you've managed to make their suku, adat, or whatever their identity, not into a punchline, but into the central storyline.
That's true.
Of a is
He really humanizes them,
right.
Yeah.
Is in the writing process or with the other writers?
Yeah.
Do you intentionally put that thought in mind, or is it like a byproduct of who the? Because I'm sure when Ari writes his thing, I'm sure when Bene writes his thing, I'm sure is it ingrained, or is it like an intentional thing where you guys say, hey, let's make our culture not a punchline, but like like the story.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's 100% by design, because if you look at the ethnicity as a punchline, it's almost assured that you're going to play with stereotypes.
Right.
Racial stereotypes. That's what makes it funny, right? Stereotypes are there for a reason.
Right.
But I think one of the reason we are, segregated as a community is some people like really lean into those stereotypes without knowing those people in real life, That's what we're trying to fight. We're trying to fight stereotypes, even if it's comedy. That's why if you that's a great example, film Kakabos by Ari Kriting, right? Where you see the keluarga Indonesia Timur and sangar debt collector and everything, but he portrays it like the successful one.
Exactly.
He lives in a nice house.
Yeah.
He brings a great, nice car, and the kid goes to school with all these Chinese, English-speaking Chinese kids. Like that's like trying to portray. They're just humans. Like humans, they have their own problems. They have their family. They have their conflict. They have their issues. But the ethnicity is just the setting. It's not the thing you play with. It's like they are of that ethnicity. So if you look at the Cek Toko Sebelah, for instance, we don't play with, the ethnicity. I mean, the stigmatized or the stereotypical Chinese jokes per se.
Right.
Like orang Cina pelit hitungan. Like it's on the contrary. If you remember the scene, like Gita Bebita being the ngutang ke Koafuk's like whatever. Like it's like even the first scene. If you remember,
I remember
Koafuk's first scene on the movie was the neighbor bringing the granddaughter to school, walking, and then he goes into the store and he gives like a piece of like lollipop, I
remember.
Like it's a way of portraying like a human being as a human being, not attached to the stereotypes of the ethnicity.
Right, because I love it. Like even Kakabos' story. You know how I'm from NTT. Many people have told me like, oh, om lu tukang parkir, tukang gebu, tukang pukul.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh my god. Even my internal friends, when but they're A1 friends, circle satu kan pasti kayak tukang parkir lu anjing, whatever. But watching Ari Kriting sa Kakabos like, oh wow. Even though bukan NTT ya, tapi tetap aja orang Timur, and you felt that ini nunjukin orang Timur sukses. Because when when I went to school here, just like you said, I went with the Chinese-Indonesian kids in Sekolah Katolik di Jakarta. And I felt that it's very confusing, like, huh?
Yeah.
So, but okay, apart from that, I want to say this one other comment. Imaginary has been called, and many comments has been called, like the A24 of Indonesia. This is what I've been reading.
Yeah, I saw.
Like you are, like for example, Christos Tinggal Meninggal Tingning.
Yeah.
For me, I watched it. It portrayed anxiety, mental health, and I love Tingning.
Yeah.
Right. Regardless of what the numbers did or whatever, why are you so brave into taking these risks? And because mainstream movies don't take these risks, right?
It's very experimental,
it's
right?
very experimental.
Like,
what makes Imaginary so brave to be like, you know what, Christo, you do you. This is who you are. Do it. Like.
And it's not just that. It's jatuh cinta seperti film-film.
Yeah.
Black and
it's
white.
It's even more extreme example.
Like I'm like, who makes a movie in Indonesia black and white, but it still worked, and it got
it
good
works
numbers.
amazingly.
It got good numbers.
Yeah,
but like, is it like, do you go into the meetings in Imaginary and it's like, who cares about the numbers? Go for your heart. Like, what's like the behind the scene dapur like?
Yeah, the likeness to A24, I can understand why people would compare it, because they're quite a niche. When it comes to storytelling, they don't limit the creators. Right. I think we're very similar in that sense. What's different is now, since they're getting traction and fame, A24 is really extremely increasing their volume. So now they have so many movies, right? So we don't go that route, but we do have a very similar values where we're trying to make movies that excites us as producers. Me and Deepa, my partner.
Right.
The projects we greenlit are the ones that they're not businessly interesting in terms of business. They're not like, this is what the market wants.
Right.
Because business-wise, that might work, but making movies is a really hard job. And we want our life to be less stressful. So we pick the interesting projects. It's very basic stuff, actually. We want to be happy, so we pick projects that excites us. Because the labor is already hard as it is.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine doing something for the sake of business. Like, why do I do this? Because it'll make money. Okay, but I have enough money for now, I think. I can survive, so why would I do things for money? I want to do things that really excites me as an artist, So we pick projects that really sparks us, that really gave us that wow factor of, wow, that's a really intriguing idea. That's a really interesting story. Like, that's where we start.
Right.
That's where we start. Right. As in the terms, in the context of business, of course. And then how do you rationalize the project, this exciting and experimental idea? How do we rationalize it? We rationalize it by taking cues from the historically there movie, like for instance, like the black and white movie, right? We had City. I forgot the exact year, but we had City from Jogja. It was like 100,000-ish audience. So he kind of thought, okay, so if this movie is going to be made, Yandi would have to be aware that we have to make this project feasible business-wise. So what's your production budget? Let's talk about your production budget. Like, what's your BEP? Like, does it make sense at all? Like, you want to make a black and white, but the break-even is 500,000 audience. Well, I don't think that makes sense.
Right.
But if we can find a sweet spot where the business side is
makes sense,
achievable at least. It's not going to be easy, but it's achievable. Then let's do it. So that's what we did with our rather experimental project.
Right.
That's how we do the math.
Ernest, I think you are one of the very few that managed to go from like an artist, I would say, mainly, into now an entrepreneur. Right? That's two different ball game. Like, how has that transition or journey been?
That's a great question. Yeah.
Because it's usually...
Is it though? Is it really a different...
I would say so.
Oh, he's asking you. I love it. He's asking us back. I love it.
I would think so. Actually, maybe it's a bit of a stereotype, but usually like people who are more artist leaning, they don't... it's not that maybe they're not good, but they don't really like thinking about, like the money and the business.
Right.
And
Maybe it's
they
not their forte. It's not their forte.
Yeah, they want to focus on
Yeah.
creating. But then on the other side, right,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs and stuff like that, they're not very in tune to their artistry
Right.
usually.
Okay.
So that shift is very rare, I would say.
Okay, two things. First of all, I'm very lucky to have a partner which is very passionate on the things that I'm not passionate about. That's very crucial.
Right.
If you're an artist
Right.
and you have a partner who's also an artist, I
that's
think
just
that would be
Right,
I think it
right.
would be troublesome. But my partner, he's really like finance for me, like something I would like detest. But for him, it's something he even took course for finance because he's really
Right.
interested in the science of it. So he's really
Okay.
genuinely passionate about finance, which I find very weird, but okay, whatever.
Right.
So that's the first thing. You have to find a partner that
complements you,
complements
right?
you.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's about priorities. Like the priority for us, for me, is the art. So the flip side of it, artists needs creativity. They need environment and supporting elements to help keep them creative. For instance,
Yep.
we keep our movies to a bare minimum of 2 movies a year. Can we produce 4 movies a year? Perhaps we can. But at what cost? The cost of being more stressful, which leads to less creativity and me being less happy than...
Right.
Because happiness is an important matrix for you, right?
Me and Deepa, our main priority when making a work plan is our children's school holidays. That comes
Okay.
first.
Wow.
So what's
That
like...
is- Oh, I never knew this. No,
Okay,
can you please elaborate on that?
Yeah,
So,
it's simple. So, terima rapot kapan? Liburan akhir tahun kapan? So there's not going to be any shoot then because we would be on a family holiday.
I
What's
see.
the point
That
of
is-
having...
Yeah.
that's for an Indonesian, that's pretty baller. I mean,
Yeah,
usually a lot of people
yeah.
don't care, right? Usually,
Yeah.
justru kalau lagi libur anak, bioskop penuh, right?
No, that's the release.
That's the release, but it's in the
you
work.
can perhaps
But usually
do that.
it's
But
not even part of the
shooting,
equation.
actually the
Yeah,
shooting.
yeah.
We will avoid the libur sekolah is like our
Family
sacred
time.
family.
Oh,
you know.
wow. I didn't know
And that takes compatibility
That's
between
yeah.
you and your partner. You're sharing the
see.
same values and you have the same priorities.
Shit, that's pretty-
Your priorities, your family.
Wow, that's nice.
Like if you align on that, then
Then it's all good.
Much easier for us to be less ambitious and like 2 movies a year. Yeah, let's make that work. 2 movies a year. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. Our last 2 movie is a miss. Business wise, box
Yeah,
office wise, it's not a hit.
Okay.
Right.
We go on. Yeah. That's
Wow.
the thing. People make more movies so that have a better probability rate.
Yeah.
So if you make
Right.
8, maybe you'll hit 2 or 3, but
Right.
you'll do well in that year. But
yeah,
for us,
yeah.
it's like 2 movies a year. So yeah, we'll take our chances.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay, Abigail, I want to ask this. This is
Yeah,
this
go
is
for it.
This is a selfish question, but I really want to know. Look, I'm going to preface it by saying, I mean, I wouldn't be here without Radit because
Okay, yeah.
Radit gave me my
Yeah,
Radit
yeah.
gave me my career.
Yeah.
But out of all the founders, you and Panji, I respect because you guys are way more critical than Radit is publicly.
Okay, in terms of
Political
stuff.
stuff and criticizing social
Yeah,
politics, whatever.
okay.
You and Panji have always been vocal since day one. Again, no knock to Radit. I know what Radit is doing with his life, but like, are you afraid that would hurt? Because when you're talking about politics and
Yeah.
business, once you comment on MBG, for example,
Yeah.
a lot of people are not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Ernest, in basketball, there's a term, LeBron James, shut up and dribble. They say that to LeBron James, like, stop talking about politics, you shut up and you dribble. But you and Panji have almost, like, there's this air of not, like, you know, I'm gonna speak my mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you have been, quote unquote, in the movie business, quote unquote, more commercial than Panji. Panji, don't hate me for this, right? You get what I mean. You get what I mean.
That's very
Yeah.
true in terms of Panji. Let's say if Panji runs into trouble, then his stand-up, which is doing himself on that stage, right?
Exactly.
So he's all alone.
Exactly.
A movie
You-
would take like 200 people to make, like
Right, you have
the
all these-
consequences. Yeah.
So how do you balance? How do you live to like? No, I gotta talk about this shit, no matter what the feedback, the clash is coming from the people, the audience, the government, or whatever.
You have to pick your battles. That's how I would say. That's
Okay.
what I would say. You have to
Okay.
pick your battle. I cannot like be as free as I was
Right.
because the thing with movies is like what I said. The
Right.
thing with movies is you involve so many
many
people. Like during the pre-production, the shooting, the post-production, even the promotion.
Right.
A lot of partners involved, a lot of other parties involved in this. You know, hardworking people are pouring their hearts and energy into this title of a movie, which would be too selfish for me to ruin all by myself.
Yep.
Right.
So that's really hard. It's a really huge burden. So it doesn't silence me totally, clearly, but
Yeah, clearly, guys. Look at his Insta stories. Look at his Insta
at
stories.
least you have to pick your battle. Like
Right.
you really sure that, for instance, let's like stay away from things that are it can be easily twisted. Like for instance, things to do with religion.
Right.
Yeah.
For instance, like
I understand.
really, it could be a bola liar lah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's really tricky to handle. Things that has to do with our president as a person.
Right, of course.
Because this government is not the previous government,
No, it's
if you know what I'm
very
saying.
different. Very different.
So things are different. Things are changing. Like
Yeah,
for instance,
absolutely.
if I reflect back on my political stand-up materials back in 2013, 14, I cannot say those things
no.
anymore now
Dude, he
because
was-
things are
his stand-up back then
things
was
are different.
crazy.
Things are different.
Yeah.
So we keep evaluating our limits. I
I
keep
see.
evaluating my limits and picking my battles on which issues to address.
I see. So
Yeah.
this is your toned down version.
You can say that. You can say that. You can say that. You can say that.
This is a very toned down version.
And
it's still very loud.
a thoughtful version.
Wow.
No, it's
okay.
like when people in such positions of quote unquote power like you and Joko speak,
Right.
it really does give hope to everybody else yang kaya, if they have so much to lose and they still speak up, it gives motivation. I'm not gonna
No,
lie.
that's
It
very
does.
true. That's very
Yeah.
true. I remember I remember being on the flip side where I kind of forgot which issue this is with so many
So many
issues.
issues.
I was like, should I say something? Should I not say something? And then Manana talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let's go. If she's gonna talk about it, then
Right,
I'm
yeah,
gonna talk
exactly,
about
yeah.
it.
People
that
then-
kind of
yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it trickles down to
It
the
trickles.
smaller scale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
absolutely. And I think I was gonna mention, aside from you, Bang Joko Anwar, right?
Yeah.
He's very vocal as well. But Bang Joko, it's on brand in a sense, like his movie is about those stuff, right? So when people say Joko Anwar talking about like politics, like of course he's talking about politics. His movies talks about politics.
Right.
But for you, your movie are very different and much more commercial, like Andovi said. So I would imagine the type of audience that follows you are very different than the type of audience that would follow Bang Joko, for example.
But
And-
we have the same risk of having because we're in the same industry
Yeah.
and our product
Right.
is the
I
same.
agree.
So it's the risk.
I agree.
It's
The risk
equally.
is
I think
the-
it's equally
It's
risky.
equal.
It's equally risky when he decides to talk about things.
but
because
how does your audience respond to when you speak out though?
Has there been any audiences like,
Yeah.
Emma,
Yeah,
just shut
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Just can you please don't talk
Of
about
course,
it?
of course. Like and maybe some with goodwill. Like
Right. Not all of them
they're
bad
not
will.
trying to bash or anything. Just
Yeah.
we're worried for you and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But especially, I always said that artists, they're the gatekeepers of conscience, perhaps. Like,
Oh, that's a bar.
know-
That's a TikTok cut clip. That is artists are the gatekeepers of conscience. I love
Explain.
that.
No.
I love that.
yeah, because as artists, you're not supposed to be the what do you call it? Like the amplifier of propaganda, amplifier of government's agenda. When we are talking about politics, when say me, I was endorsing Jokowi, for
Yeah.
instance,
Yeah.
which I did, and
Yeah.
never accept anything. I'm not
Right.
affiliated to anyone.
Right.
I never got a single amount of rupiah on my bank account because of it.
Right.
That's because I thought he was
A new hope.
the better choice at
Yeah,
the
better
time.
choice, yeah.
Which is proven to be right, I guess. So
Wait,
anyway,
yeah, you're right. Looking back,
slightly
it's
better choice. Slightly better
better.
choice, I
Slightly
think,
better.
democracy-wise.
Yeah.
So I never, I never sell my soul to a politician. So
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
artists. I think artists they have the responsibility of
I love that.
You know,
That's a bar.
Well-
Voice of the people.
That's a bar.
I love that.
That's
And
crazy.
what do you think is the role of art and artists in the world that's like not doing so well right now, in your opinion?
Yeah, you can sometimes again amplifies the voiceless. People can voice their opinion. It's either they're silenced or they're inspired to speak up because you spoke like that,
Right,
or the art itself becomes a medium of escapism and hope, right? So
Yep.
that's why I think Agak Laen became so big because it came like in February 2024 when the heat of the pill press.
Pilpres,
Yes,
Papa
yes.
So
Sebelah,
people
yeah.
just want to escape this old
People are
crazy,
very tired, yeah.
People are very tired. They just want to escape all this. And I don't know, this upcoming November, is it like, because this country right now, like we need an escape,
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah.
Like
We keep needing
I
new
wouldn't
escape.
hope for it to be like this, but we come in a rather similar time when we hope the art could be like, you know, like an escapism where you just
Right.
like for a few hours you just let go of everything and just
You know-
have a good laugh, and then
You know-
hopefully it helps.
Can I just say one thing that's very beautifully ironic about Agak Laen? It was meant to be an escape at that time, but that became the theme song of Peringatan Darurat. Agak lain
that's
kamu,
true.
agak
That's
lain
true.
bapakmu, agak lain kau sekeluarga. I remember when everybody went down and all the Agak Laen people came, and it's so weird because yes, it was meant to be an escapism, but that became the theme song for Peringatan Darurat. It was just so ironic and beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It became,
Yeah, it's like the interaction between fiction and reality and
Yeah.
art.
it became so interwoven, and
Yeah.
emang Agak Laen di satu keluarga.
I don't think Abigail realized that that day was the gala premiere day of
Kakak Bos,
Kakak Bos.
yeah, yeah.
August
Oh.
2024.
So,
it was literally the gala. So Ari went
Wait,
from Senayan to
I know.
Epicentrum.
No, I think I know.
She was there.
Abdur.
She was there that sore. So I came in the morning. I met all of them,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Where are
yeah.
you guys going after this?" They were like, "Kita abis ini premiere Kakak Bos." And I'm like,
No, I think I met some people who said that.
yeah.
And I was
And
like,
I'm
oh my
"You
god,
guys
good
are-
luck.
You guys are crazy. Like, yeah, but so it's just
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah,
How
yeah,
art.
The night before.
Yeah.
Were you nervous? How did you feel?
No, I was not talking about the movie. I was talking about the
The night.
demonstration.
Yeah.
I already got permission from my wife to go because I just had to ask her. You know, the guys are going on a march tomorrow. Can I join?
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
if you really think it's safe, then
Right.
Well, do your thing. But my son, though, was like holding his tears and, "Daddy, please don't go." He's a really like melancholic kid. So he's like 9 at the time. He was begging me not to go. It's like, so I decided not to go.
I see.
And then the morning, I see the Ajis and
Yeah,
then
and everybody sang the song on the truck.
FOMO maksimal
Yeah.
gitu. I really
On
want to
the
be
truck.
there. But, so that's it.
That's beautiful. I just
Wow. That's
made to
Very-
escape the February. Aduh, pilpres, tapi it became the song to criticize.
Of resistance.
It's crazy.
It didn't mean it.
It didn't mean to be right.
But how did it
It
feel?
didn't
How
mean
did
it.
it
How did it
feel
feel?
though?
I think we feel honored in a way, a bit
Yeah.
worried, but honored mostly. Honored mostly that they associate that song with something that's really positive.
Right. Emang agak lain tuh sekeluarga. Okay, that was. Okay, now we go to the question from the Weeboos.
Yes.
From the Weeboos. Okay, there were many questions, but this is one of the most liked questions.
Okay.
From Tiffany
And one of the
Afifa.
a representation
Representation
of one of
of-
the most asked question.
Okay. Kenapa bisa percaya dan setia sama Spurs all these years?
Aduh.
Kayaknya, to my knowledge the only public figure di Indonesia yang kelihatan dukung Spurs. Makasih ya kok. Heart. So what's your answer to Tiffany?
Okay, you need to give me context. I have no idea what this
Okay,
means.
the Tottenham Hotspurs are the English Premier League team.
Okay. Of what sport?
Football.
Oh, okay.
They used to have their most famous player back then is Harry Kane, right? The most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And-
is it very, very unpopular that people ask this of Ernest?
Because people usually go for Manchester United, Liverpool,
Okay.
Chelsea.
City, whatever, right? So why?
It's a very I don't know, it's a teenage thing, where I was okay, it's gonna be an age reveal, but when there was this World Cup of 1994, if you
Okay.
remember the name Jurgen Klinsmann,
Yeah,
he was
Jurgen
like
Klinsmann, yeah.
he was like a German striker who was very good at World Cup 1994 in the USA.
In the US. Brazil won that year, right?
Brazil won.
Brazil won that year.
Roberto Baggio missed the penalty.
Yes.
So after that, he joined Spurs.
Jurgen
So
Klinsmann
that was my
joined
first
Spurs.
World Cup, right? That was my first time enjoying the hype of the World Cup. My dad was like keep on the phone, taruhan and stuff. So it was like my first World Cup experience. So afterwards, he joined this club. And then I became interested, and then I follow. And then there's this cool French guy called David Ginola. Do you remember him? And then I just love the feel of being. Maybe it goes along with being a minority.
It's the underdog.
Might as well, might as well pick a minority club.
Do you have a favorite
football team? No, but basketball is the Lakers.
And
for
another
sure.
thing is, I don't know why, I just love the color of the dark blue color. I just like the colors. So.
And
Anyway.
speaking about the World Cup, next year is the 2026 World Cup in the US.
US again, yeah.
You watched that as a kid, and now you're grown up. You have enough money to watch the games. Will you watch the games, the World Cup in the US? No.
I don't have enough motivation to go to the World Cup.
Okay, so that's Spurs. Okay, got it. Wait, who's the best player for the Spurs now? From now.
Now, I would say the best player for Spurs now would be Mickey van de Ven, I think.
Okay, I don't know.
So, fun fact, he's a central defender.
Okay.
From the Netherlands.
Okay.
And he is the fastest player last season. So the fastest player was not a striker, was not a winger.
It was a central defender.
defender.
And he plays for the Spurs. Okay.
Yeah. He's 6'2", very tall, very handsome. Anyway,
I totally get it. Okay, next question.
Okay.
Me, okay. It's from Andian Yuliawan. Okay. If you could spend the last 2 hours of your lifetime by watching a film with your family, what film would that be and why?
That's a great.
That's crazy.
That's a great
This is an insane
morbid question.
Yeah. If you're gonna die in 2 hours, what
and
are
you
you
need to
gonna
spend
watch?
it watching movies.
Thank you, Andian Yuliawan. That's a hard.
It's a really hard question.
But it has with your family, so very specifically. It's very specific. Not like Ernest alone, but Ernest with family.
This is a very morbid question.
Hard. It's a very hard question, huh? I think I would watch one of my favorite movie of all time. They just have to stick with me.
Your family's like, watch what I want to watch.
The movies I watch most frequent in my lifetime would be I would say one of my favorite movie of all time is Men in Black, the first one.
Whoa,
I love that movie so much.
first Men in Black.
I love the movie so much.
That is very unexpected.
It's a perfect movie. You cannot I cannot change it for the better at all.
How many times have you watched it?
I don't know, 20.
Okay,
maybe?
so
20.
quick take. So what did you think about the whole Will Smith slap? Because you're a big Men in Black fan, right?
I love Man, but Will Smith, no.
No. Okay, so you could separate between the movie.
Yeah, of
and
course.
Will
I
Smith.
don't condone what he did. That was nasty.
Because he's speaking as a comedian. Right? Chris Rock is a comedian, and he's a comedian. But
Yeah.
he's a fan of Will Smith and Men in Black, so it's like
No. It's not even a dilemma. Will Smith was in the wrong, 100%. 100%.
That's actually very interesting. Men in Black. I love
Men in
it.
Black.
That's true.
Have you seen
Of
it?
course, Men in Black.
Yeah,
The
I
first
have.
one.
Classic,
Right?
yeah.
I have.
That's the OG,
I have.
man. That's the OG.
Okay, from Dam Maulana. Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know if advice for a broken man at his 29 who still can't see the other side of the tunnel yet. This question means a lot of things. It can be he's dying because.
I think it
Other
just means
side
like
of the tunnel,
he's struggling and hasn't seen like the light at the end of the tunnel, right? This is a very general question, but I think it's very interesting that
Very heavy question, though.
he decided to ask this to you.
No, because I remember. I mean, if before you
Yeah.
I remember you had the story after you won Suci Satu. I think you spoke to your wife back then and was
Yeah.
like, give me 6 months of my chance to prove that I can do this. Right?
Yeah.
And how old were you then after you won
I
Suci
was 2011. I was 29. I was exactly
There
29.
we go. There we go.
I was
Okay,
born in
perfect.
82, so I was 29 at that time.
Then can you please
But I wasn't I don't think I was that desperate. I mean,
Right.
I was at the lowest point of my life because I left work and I joined this competition, which I failed to win. So
I
now
see.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? Like,
I
that's why
see.
But can you please retell that story? Because I know that story.
Okay,
But that's a very inspirational story for me.
So I graduated college and then went to work, and in 6 years span I was a manager. I had a double-digit work and I was like doing okay. And then stand-up came and I tried to audition, and then I love it because I love comedy so much ever since I was a kid. So it was a crossroad where if I join the competition, I have to leave work because you have to be quarantined. So I said to my wife, give me. So I joined the competition and I failed to win it. And then I said to my wife, let's just give me 6 months to try and work this out. I mean, the profession.
Yeah.
If I cannot go anywhere, if there's no progress, then I'll just go back to work. Because I think after 6 years at my work, I think I'll find someone who would employ me at the time.
Okay.
So I used up all my savings,
Yeah.
which is 40 juta at the time.
Right.
So my kid skipped playgroup altogether.
Oh, wow.
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 I used it up, the money. There's no money for playgroup. I didn't have a playgroup. I turned out okay. So just chill at house, okay? Just chill. And then it turned out okay. So, but I wasn't like, I'm not sure I'm this broken because broken. I think broken is a very strong choice of word. If you say I'm a broken man, like if you said if it was without the N, I would like if advice for a broke man. I would like okay, you're broke, but if you're broken, that's but funny thing, like this guy is actually smart. You can tell from his language. You can
That's true.
tell from his English.
Yeah.
Is well educated. You can see from the references of the
The other side of the tunnel. Yeah.
he knows
yeah.
his reference. He clearly he reads stuff.
Yeah.
So he's not on the bottom. Like he's on the top tier of our community in terms of education. I would assume. So yeah, I hope you can find something that'll excite you. You know what? For a short term, I would say just hang out with the right people, man. Sometimes the wrong people just bring
That's
you
true.
down so bad.
That
like-
is actually really true.
Yeah.
Like the people you surround yourself
Yeah,
with can really
sometimes.
drain you.
Right.
Or really support you, right?
I remember Patom said this when we had Patom.
Really?
Patom said
Yeah.
one of his most important things is finding the 5 right people to be with
Yeah,
him.
because you are the average of 5 people
people.
you surround
I've read
yourself
that
with.
theory as well.
And when Patom said it, like very convincingly, he said, "I was like, oh, okay, wow." I was like,
I think it's really true, actually.
it's really true. This last question.
Last question?
Yeah,
All right.
from the Weeboos.
Okay. So this is very personal.
Yeah.
For me as well. Okay. I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna do like a very personal confession after this. Okay. I want you to read it actually. I need you to read this.
What the?
From Gerald Bastian. Thank you, Gerald.
Kenapa berhenti nonton Attack on Titan di season 3? Padahal itu inti dari cerita Attack on Titan dan segala kompleksitas politik dan karakternya ada di situ. Okay, it's just easy question.
No, can I say something
Yeah.
though? So, I saw your tweet, right? This is in
2021.
2021. And I still have the screenshot. I remember I circled this because I was crashing out so bad. I respect your work.
I love how she's like,
I love what you've done to the Indonesian film industry. I think you have great taste. And so I followed you on social media. And then one day as I was scrolling Twitter, I saw this tweet. And I crashed out and then I unfollowed you.
Interesting.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Attack on Titan. Kalau gue sih nyerah, udah kehilangan minat setelah bombardir episode demi episode penuh eksposisi backstory.
Yeah.
Gue nggak segitu tertarik sama politik, kalian berantem yang mana?
Yeah.
You cannot say that to
Why?
Attack on
I'm gonna
Titan.
move to the side.
Why?
That's
Wow.
this is
I wanna move
precisely
to the
what
side.
Geralt says. That's the point of the story is in
Okay.
season 3 and 4 in like the
Okay.
backstory of it.
To my defense, you remember the first episode of the first season?
Yeah.
What kind of thing are you watching then at that time? Do you remember?
What do you mean? What kind of
What
thing?
kind of episode of an anime did you see when you first watched Attack on Titan?
Okay, it was a very intense first
Yeah.
episode.
Titan just came.
Titan just came. It was a very like
Action-packed.
classic shonen type where it's like there's a giant and
Yeah.
they're the enemy and then there's the protagonist. Yes, it was action packed, but there's a lot of hints as to like a lot of mystery that still hasn't been uncovered, right? To that. And that mystery, the answers are in season 3. So it's a whole plot.
Yeah, but if you expect people to care, then you have to lure them. You have to create enough bond for people to be able to walk with you to the next step of the journey, right? For me, what started off as a very interesting anime because of the action.
Yeah.
It's the action that got to me. I don't want to watch drama. I want to watch action.
Oh my God.
I want to watch
I'm gonna-
action.
Of course I do. Of course I watch
wrong
Attack on
is
Titan.
that?
Do
How
you guys
wrong
watch
is
Attack
that?
on Titan?
How wrong is that? I want
Do
to
you
watch
agree?
action.
I'm
Right?
gonna
Right?
I'm not gonna.
People don't watch Attack on Titan for actions, for the plot.
No, they also watch
I
the
watch-
action.
It is for the
They also watch
yeah,
the
I
that's
watch
for
anime
also
for the
that too.
action. I'm not singling out anything. I'm not attacking Attack on Titan. I'm not singling it out. I watch
Right.
anime because of the
general.
action. Yes, because of the action.
This
I don't
might-
have like I'm not like an anime freak where I have to
Yeah.
see this title because people
Right.
say it's good. I watch anime because it's interesting.
So
Like
what's
I
your-
watch Jujutsu
Yeah.
Kaisen. I watch
Oh,
Jujutsu
there you
Kaisen.
go. She's a big
Oh
fan
my
of Jujutsu
God.
Kaisen.
That's good. It's good.
So you watched it
Chainsaw
in
Man.
the-
I watch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
See,
Chainsaw
that's-
Man's really good.
So I think Attack on Titan started off as a really
Action-packed
action-packed
anime.
series, and then the action fades off really extremely different. It took a really different genre of
Yeah, it flips
series.
genre during
Exactly.
season
Right. 3.
3. Yeah,
Even
yeah,
on
yeah.
the season 2, you can feel like the action started to wear off, and
But
then
there's
you
still a lot of action though in season 3.
yeah, well, not at the beginning, and of course, right?
Only
right?
like 2 episodes, I
yeah,
would say.
well, anyway.
You know, this is gonna be your most controversial take. There's gonna be clip everywhere on TikTok. Abis itu kayak, kok Ernest gak suka dengan Attack on Titan?
No, because like, can you feel my anger through this? Can you believe it?
No, but
I-
yeah, like,
Yeah,
All right.
well,
would you give it
But
another chance if you have the time? If you have the time.
Right.
no, that's the thing though.
Season 4 has a lot of action. Just
That's
saying.
the thing though. Time is the currency here. How much time are you expecting people to invest in your film or series? I think it's fair for me as a person with limited time if I invest and I gave my time for you and I'm disappointed at this episode, then I'm entitled to not watch
Yeah.
it anymore.
It's his
How
opinion.
wrong is that?
Right?
Did
Very
you,
wrong, apparently, according to you.
Did you get hate for this tweet?
As you can see, it's not that.
I forgot. Like, I think this was.
I think you should focus on this one rather
Yeah,
than
a lot
this
of people,
one, right?
39% of the people
See?
said
That's crazy.
That's
That's crazy. I have beef with your followers as well. Then. That is crazy.
that answers that single graph. Answer your question. So
Oh my
in the
gosh.
general population, in the non-weebu sense, 39% of the people agree that membosankan tapi masih okay, membosankan tapi masih okay, membosankan. So
this is well,
39%
This is
is
a very
not
hot
small,
take.
man.
This is a hot take.
Almost 4,000 votes. So 39 times 3,700.
Right, because this was like at 1 p.m. and then I took a screenshot at 10 p.m. So I was angry
Anyway.
at 10 p.m.
okay.
Anyway, so
I think I'm gonna end this on a positive note, so this doesn't become a hate fest to Ernest.
Anyway,
Okay, I want you to choose one.
okay.
Life is not like this, but I really want you to choose between stand-up comedy and film. So if you had the chance to be like, you know, they say the mecca of stand-up comedy, they say, of course, internationally is you perform at Madison Square Garden. Let's just assume Ernest Prakasa at Madison Square Garden, or Ernest Prakasa directing whatever the biggest next Hollywood, whatever movie, whether it's Marvel or whatever, Star Wars or whatever. So would you choose the mecca of film or the mecca of stand-up? Like if you had the choice.
Realistically, I would choose stand-up because if you became a hotshot Hollywood director, unless you're one of the very select few like Nolan or Tarantino, you won't be able to have the creative freedom. The producers will have a lot of the say, right? That's for a fact. Unless you're somebody like
Nolan,
Nolan, Tarantino, or Scorsese, maybe. If you're none of those very very legendary names, then most probably the studios will be all over you. The producers will have a lot of decision about the cast, about the ending, about the I think performing in Madison Square Garden will be a lot more fun. So I can say whatever I want to say and do whatever I want to do.
Wait, before we end this, I want to ask one more. It's unrelated to Attack on Titan, don't worry. But I'm very curious. I'm very curious. What is the worst advice you have ever received in your life?
Oh, that's a good one. The worst, yeah?
The worst, not the best.
Worst advice.
The worst advice I have received in my whole life?
Yeah.
Be friends with everyone.
Ooh.
That's the worst advice I've gotten, maybe from...
From who?
Very
Who gave that
very
advice?
early. I think it's very early life.
But a lot of people say that though, yeah?
It's either a teacher or kamu bisa harus berteman dengan siapa saja, bisa berteman dengan... No, man. That's
Why is
bullshit.
that a bad advice?
Because you cannot be friends. You have to pick your values and stick to it. You have to align your values with the people around you. That's why I said to, what's his name again? Like, evaluate the people you're with. Like, are they aligned with your values? Because I think that's very important in life.
Wow.
All right.
That's a great ending. Guys, give it up for Ernest Prakasa. Thank you so much, Ernest.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Weeboos.
I didn't see the Attack on Titan attack coming, so thank you for
don't
that
forget to watch
surprise.
Agak Laen 2 on cinemas, in cinemas 27th November.
Yes.
27th, 2025. Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.